The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rohit, and I will be hosting this webinar today. The topic of today's webinar is 7 tips to redefine server monitoring. The agenda for this webinar will be as follows: a quick intro about Site 24/7, an in-depth look into each of the 7 tips that will help you in monitoring your servers better, and finally, a brief intro about Site 24/7's full stack monitoring capabilities. So let's start with the intro about Site 24/7. Site 24/7 is a part of Zoho Corporation, which is divided into 3 brands: Zoho, Manage Engine, and WebNMS. Site 24/7 combines the SaaS capabilities of Zoho with the monitoring and management capabilities of Manage Engine to give you a cloud-based full stack monitoring solution. Site 24/7 has over 10,000 customers globally, and we handle over a billion incoming metrics. We are a proven SaaS solution since we were built in-house in Zoho, which currently serves over 50 million users. Let us now take an in-depth look into each of the 7 tips that will help you monitor your servers better. Tip 1 talks about all the different metrics that are important for your server's performance. They are CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk usage with capacity plan, network stats, heartbeat checks, and services and processes. Let us now look at a live example of how each of these metrics can be seen in a monitoring dashboard and what stats they provide. So you go to server and select the monitor that you want to see more about. In Summary tab, you navigate to CPU utilization. Regular monitoring of CPU usage is critical to analyze the CPU load over a stipulated period of time and helps in overcoming performance regressions. However, as you might be aware, not all CPU usage is critical. You can use features such as customized reports based on the time period to identify the CPU usage that is actually problematic. Based on this, you can drill down to the actual cause of the CPU spike and take corrective actions such as upgrading the hardware, adding more CPUs, or shutting down unnecessary services. In Site 24/7, you can get an even more in-depth look into CPU utilization with information such as CPU utilization by cores, the average number of hardware interruptions that the processor is receiving, context switches, that is the rate of switches happening from one thread to another. This can occur either inside a single process or across processes, and average CPU usage per minute. The next critical metric is memory utilization. You again navigate to summary, and here you can see the memory utilization stat. Memory utilization is extremely important because monitoring memory usage helps in identifying underused or overloaded servers and redistribute load effectively. Similar to CPU utilization, in Site 24/7, you can get an even more in-depth look into memory utilization with information such as Swap memory utilization, memory used, memory breakup of free physical memory and free swap memory, memory pages in, that is the number of pages read from disk to resolve hard page faults, memory pages out, that is the number of pages written to disk to free up space in physical memory, and memory page faults, that is the number of times a page fault occurred when a process required code or data that is not working in its set. And finally, the average memory usage per minute. The third metric is disk usage with capacity plan. This metric helps you in planning for a future outage by predicting what your disk usage will be after 7 days based on your current usage. If the disk usage and predicted value are irregular or show a sudden spike, then it means that there is a performance degradation issue in the usage and that some definitive action is required to resolve this. In this example, if we click on the disks tab, we can check for the disk utilization of each partition and resolve the issue before it affects the overall performance of the server. The fourth metric, which helps in better monitoring your servers, are all the relevant stats of the different network interfaces connected to your server. The network stats that you can see in Site 24/7 are the name of each network interface card, a graphical representation of all the packets sent and received, the bandwidth utilization in the server, the speed at which data is being sent and received in kbps, and error packets. The fifth metric is heartbeat checks. Heartbeat checks are basically a way to check for server availability at set intervals. For example, in Site 24/7, our server will send a check at regular intervals to the agent installed on the monitored server. If no response is received within a particular time period, then the server is considered to be down and the user is alerted. And finally, to complete the list of metrics to be monitored, all important services and processes running on a server also needs to be monitored to completely analyze the load on system resources. Tip 2 is to effectively monitor a server, we need to build custom dashboards. Custom dashboards are important because they give us the ability to group servers and monitor their performance in real time. Server admins can benefit immensely from viewing the availability of all servers in real time from a single dashboard. The screenshot of one such example is shown here. Let's now look at a live example of how a custom dashboard shows the necessary stats. So as you can see, all the custom dashboards that were created in this account is listed here. You select one of them and it will show you all the necessary data in one view. Tip 3 is to track all relevant logs as this is crucial for efficient troubleshooting. But for this to happen, all logs across the infrastructure must be listed in a single central location. If not, server admins will end up wasting time tracking down individual logs from multiple servers. Being able to track logs from a single intuitive interface helps server admins identify server outages immediately and debug issues much faster. As you can see in this example provided, once the user has entered the necessary commands or keywords, they can see all their logs in the same view without having to navigate to different locations. Tip 4 states the need for reports that provide relevant information. These reports must contain performance data on all monitored resources, and server admins need to generate them on an hourly, weekly, monthly, or yearly basis. Exhaustive reports will assist server admins in identifying trends over a stipulated time period. For example, some of the reports we provide in Site 24/7 are disk partition report, which helps us understand the used and free disk space across servers for two or more servers in your account. Let's look at a live example to understand this better. You go to reports, select server monitor, and here you have server disk partition report. This report helps in identifying the partition that is using up the most space or has a lot of free space so that you can perform the necessary actions such as a cleanup to create more space. The network adapter report, which helps give us a consolidated list of all the details such as total amount of data, packets sent and received across servers, is also extremely important. Moving to the live example, this report helps in forecasting the current and future consumption of bandwidth and maintain network performance of your servers. Next report is the agent inventory report, where you can view all servers monitored in your account based on the agent version, IP address, OS type, associated threshold profiles, and configuration templates. A live example of this is as shown here. The other report we'll be discussing is the services and processes report. Services and process report will list down all the Windows services and Linux processes respectively across all servers in your account. You can either choose to create a services report or a processes report based on your preference. So if you select the services report and choose the necessary monitors, you can see the necessary stats for that particular service. Similarly for process report. And finally, top end reports, which list the top end resources with the highest values. Site 24/7 provides top end reports for CPU, memory, and disk usage. An example for this is shown in the next slide. As you can see in this example, you can see the top 5 servers by disk. Here we can change the report to show anything from top 5 to top 100 servers. It will show the total disk storage as well as the average, maximum, and minimum values. Tip 5 concerns RCA or root cause analysis reports. An RCA report gives the precise reason behind downtime as well as provides a trace route map that helps diagnose connectivity issues. For example, if a server crashes due to high process usage, a server monitoring solution like Site 24/7 will declare the monitor as down and send out an RCA report. The server monitoring agent will collect the top processes by CPU and memory as well as other events that occurred before the server crashed and present all this information in the RCA report. This enables quicker troubleshooting and prevents similar performance degradation issues in the future. The main details that need to be covered in an RCA report are as shown in this slide. That is, basic details of the monitor, top processes by CPU and memory, disk and hard disk details, trace route, event logs or system logs, CPU fan status, logged in users, software installed in the last 30 days, and if the server is running on Linux OS, driver messages. The next slide shows an example of how the event logs will look in an RCA report that is sent to the server admin during a downtime. Using this information in this event log and other RCA metrics, server admins can easily decode the issue and resolve it. Tip 6 is about alerts and notifications. Server admins should set up an appropriate alerting mechanism to oversee performance issues anywhere so that remedial action can be taken before end users are affected. You can either use the alerting system in a monitoring tool or use any of the different variety of alerting tools available in the market for this purpose. Site 24/7 can integrate with a variety of third-party notifications and alerting tools as shown in this slide. With Site 24/7, you can also use webhooks to integrate any other alerting tool that hasn't been expressly mentioned here. The final tip covers IT automation. IT automation is extremely important because most IT departments spend around 50% of their time on repetitive manual maintenance tasks that occur due to unexpected configuration changes. It would be ideal if these manual tasks are automated and integrated with tools, people, and processes. Some of the benefits of IT automation include high availability, increased productivity, reliability, performance, and reduced costs. An additional bonus tip is to always maintain a close view on cron jobs and scheduled tasks. Monitoring cron jobs, Windows backups, and scheduled tasks is very important as it ensures a failure will not affect your system. You need to set alerts to know exactly when a task fails or doesn't execute within a set time period. Additionally, it is also important to learn how long a task has been running. All these and more are important in setting up a foolproof server monitoring strategy. Before we conclude this webinar, I would like to give you a brief understanding about the full stack monitoring solution that Site 24/7 provides. Using Site 24/7, you can monitor your websites and investigate any server level issues across multiple OS platforms such as Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. You can also monitor your AWS or Azure infrastructures and even monitor servers or websites within your internal network. Site 24/7 APM helps you in monitoring your entire application stack and track every transaction that happens, allowing you to optimize them before your end users are affected. Site 24/7 APM is currently available for Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, and Ruby. As mentioned earlier, Site 24/7 has over 10,000 customers worldwide. Some of our biggest customers are shown in this slide. If you wish to get regular updates about Site 24/7, please follow us on these social media handles. You can also learn more about our products through our resource pages shown here. If you wish to contact us for more details, you can email us at support@site247.com or sales@site247.com. You can also chat with our representatives using the link shown, or you can also call us using one of these toll-free numbers. So that brings us to the end of this webinar. I hope you found it to be informative. Thank you all for your time. Have a great day.